What if I told you that the real reason why your sketches don't look good isn't necessarily a lack of skill or talent? We've all been there, staring at our sketches and feeling discouraged because it didn't meet our expectations. In fact, this feeling is often rooted in misunderstanding the purpose of sketching. Well, to understand this, it's important to recognize the distinction between sketching for ideation versus sketching as your final work. As someone who studied architecture, we often start our projects by doing quick sketches, or what we call as napkin sketches. We do these kinds of sketches to figure out our main idea or concept for the building that we're designing, and putting a lot of details into sketches would be unnecessary because we haven't figured out the big thing just yet. Essentially, sketching is used for brainstorming and just throwing a bunch of ideas out there. This is similar to what a lot of us might be more familiar with, which is croquis, and this is often related to figure drawing. This again is about drawing loosely and spontaneously, not focusing too much on the details, but more on the impression or the flow of the subject. Anyway, when we're drawing napkin sketches or croquis, it's totally fine to rush your drawings because that's the essence of that stage in your creative process. The reason why I want to bring this up is because I want to emphasize that your sketches don't have to look great or amazing. Here, I just want to show you some of the sketches I've done when I was studying architecture, and as you can see, they're often very simple and messy. I want to show this because I see a lot of artists flexing their sketchbooks on social media and showing this almost perfect and flawless sketchbooks. I just want to remind you that this is social media we're talking about, so a lot of things that are shown in this space are often just people's best works or moments in life. I'm not saying everyone does this, but I just want to remind you and me that a lot of people do this, including me. The crucial point to this whole spiel is that we have to recognize that the artists with conventionally good sketches, more so than not, often regard to those pieces as their final work and not just some preliminary studies. For them, these sketches represent their unique style and interpretation. This is what they value, and essentially this is how they see things through their eyes as an artist. There could be numerous reasons why they chose this style, but if we read in between the lines, maybe to them, sketching as a style might connect more with their subject or the story of their artwork. Maybe the roughness allows them to express ideas and emotions that might not translate as effectively when the work is more polished. These are just some of the things we can consider why the sketch might be the final work. This informal nature of sketches is very interesting to me because it questions the norm. It just makes me think why a lot of artists, myself included, feel the need to create polished works. Why are we pressured to do so? What does that do for us? What does that mean? Also, this idea of polished work often pushes us to care more about the outcome instead of just enjoying the process of creating. Anyway, before I start yapping about unrelated topics, I just want to circle back to this idea that sketching can be used in different ways. I'm at a point in my career where I treat sketching as a stepping stone for my final work, which is likely how most of us utilize it for. But then again, we also have artists that treat sketchbooks as their standalone artworks. This is fine. All of this is okay, but what's important is that we have to be mindful of our intentions. This involves taking the time to question yourself, such as, why do you feel bad about your sketches? Is it because you weren't able to convey your ideas effectively, or were you just comparing yourself to another artist? It's good to be reminded that whatever it is that we feel, there's always something causing it. There's a specific reason. Also, feeling bad about ourselves usually comes from external pressures, and we need to realize that every time we compare ourselves to another person who seems to be doing better, that we're just at different stages in our lives. So we can't just randomly compare our work to another person. So we need to come up with a healthier perspective on our work in relation to others, because if not, this only takes away our joy. And if we really need to do this for a really long time, then we need to find something that works, something sustainable. If we really think about it, art is such a personal thing. It's like a snapshot of our individual experiences. You know, each artist brings their own perspective, emotions, and background into their work. And this is lovely because this shows our unique journey. Sure, we can admire someone else's work and perhaps pick up some techniques from them, but we shouldn't forget that the way we see and express the world is entirely our own. That's what makes art special, because there's a piece of us in that work. So let's get back to this whole idea why our sketches might look bad. And this will sound too cliche, but let's be real. Nobody's perfect. We really need to let go of this idea that our sketches have to be perfect and flawless all the time, because they're not meant to be perfect in the first place. So yeah, just keep drawing and keep making your art. Continue showing who you are.